Greg Hunter's under the weather. I think most of y'all know. I don't know when's the last time he missed a game, but I guarantee it's been a long time. So for him not to be here at the press conference or at this game, and he must be not feeling well. So want everybody within our program that we're thinking about him. So talked to Tony Caridi on the radio on Tuesday night, and he said, okay, what's it going to come down to? And I really felt like it was going to be three things: turnover margin, which we won, who could establish a run game, which we did, and then scoring touchdowns in the red zone, which we did good enough. And so I think that's the story of the game. I'm proud of our group, our team. We overcame adversity, and I said this after Virginia Tech, and I'll say it again. I think the demise is kind of getting ahead of itself. We won 3 of 4. This league's going to be wide open. There's a bunch of really good football teams. That team just won the Big 12 championship last year, and they got a bunch of guys back. And they handled us pretty quickly or pretty good last year, and our guys came back. And there was plenty of times the game was 17-7, and then coming out in the second half, we got behind 2, and our guys just showed a lot of grit. And we got a team, defensively, we gave up, some yardage, we gave up some plays, but we also lost 4 guys during the game, that were out for the game. And we had some guys come in and make plays, and we forced turnovers, and which is huge. We came back in those 2 last drives of regulation, not counting the last one, but I guess the second and third last drives of regulation. We get a turnover and kick a field goal, and those are really productive. Like, we'll grow from that. And so, and then offensively, I felt like we were pretty good all year. And I've said that. Felt like we were pretty good. Like, those guys are good on defense. They're really good on defense. And you'll see it. It'll play out the rest of the year that they're pretty good on defense. We had 74 plays for 500 yards. We ran the ball for 217. Like, we controlled the line of scrimmage. And they've got a top-round pick that plays on the D-line. And their front 6 is really good. And our receivers, which we, whenever we played last – we sit here and talked about drops. They might have made a bunch of plays tonight. So let's make sure we talk about that. There was a bunch of contested catches. There was a bunch of passes behind them, and they made a bunch of plays. And so I sit here and talked about the drops last week. I'm going to talk about them making plays, and they're growing up. I thought Tony Mathis, he was decisive, and that's where he hadn't been this year. And he ran like he did against Iowa State and Texas last year. I thought he was decisive. And then Caden Prather's growing up. He's going to be as good as he wants to be. And he's growing up before our eyes. In his last few games, he's played really good football. And so I told our guys all week, I thought we were going to make a play on special teams. And, the field goal block team, I think, says a lot about your football team. Because, you go out there, and a lot of times it's on PATs when you've given up a score and everybody's down. But if you got belief and your kids are bought in, they're going to go hard on your field goal block team. And so, our guys played hard. And I think it was Dante that got the hand on it, and Jacoby Spells ran it back. And that's a huge play. It's a huge play in the game. And so every game matters, or every play matters. And so really proud of our guys. I thought it was a big win. So Kevin, you start us, please.
You spoke after the Texas game about being able to match plays to stay in it. Obviously, you were able to do that tonight. Did that give you confidence during the game, even when things went against you a little bit, that, hey, we're doing what we need to do?
Yeah, I thought the biggest play of the game was the fumble recovery that got returned. I think it was 17-7 at that point. And offensively in the first half, we didn't play great. But and listen, I have a lot of respect for Baylor, but it wasn't anything that Baylor necessarily did. We were going to go for it. We had 2 downs. We ran the ball on 3rd and 3, and we got stuffed. And really, we just miscommunicated up front. We should have gone out to the blitz. And worst case scenario, if we went out to the blitz, it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. We're going to go for it at that point. So we kind of shot ourselves in the foot there. Then JT missed a signal on a 2nd down on the next drive, and on a 2nd down play, and we get into 3rd and long, we don't convert. And so that's how it got to 17-7. And so and all we've been stressing, on defense, we got to get better, right? I mean, I think everybody understands that we got to get better. Now, we played better in the fourth quarter, but my message to them is if we'll just continue to play hard, good things will happen. Like, things have a funny way to even and out, all right? And if you play hard and you do things the right way in preparation, the ball's going to eventually bounce your way. And let's be honest, it didn't bounce very many damn times in our way this year, right, until tonight. And so we got a couple good bounces. Jasir picked it up and ran it in. And so that was the play. And then I felt like once we got going offensively, I felt like we could make enough plays. And that proved true. JT tried to make it interesting there with the interception late, but we got it done.
Just from a confidence standpoint, how big is it for this particular group to pull out a close game after a couple heartbreakers earlier this year?
Yeah, I think it's important. Yeah, without question, it's important. We we had chances obviously to win game 1 and game 2, and we didn't. And I think it's important here at home too. The people that were here tonight, they saw a hell of a football game. And the people that weren't are probably going to be disappointed they didn't see it because it was two teams, not just ours. Baylor battled too. They had some adversity and they came back, and that's a group that's really well coached, and they battled. And so, the end of game scenarios, we worked those a lot. And so once we held them to that field goal, I felt really good about our 2-minute situation to go in and win it. And we were able to hit some runs, and that was kind of the story of that drive. But, yeah, I think it does. Anytime you can win some close games, it helps. For us, I hope what it does, it really sets us up for a stretch run. Because, like I said, we've won 3 or 4. We got to go on the road to a tough place. They're coming off a bye week. But we've got a chance to get some win behind us.
Difference running game today versus last week, and you're down a good player, but results are much better.
Yeah. So I think there's a couple things. Is we were able to keep them off balanced this week, and we were probably the score never got away from us. Last week it got away from us a little bit, so probably gave up on the run too soon, and understandably so. And then we just didn't do a very good job getting up to the second level against Texas. So we switched how we were IDing some things. We single blocked more in this game and didn't worry about double teams as much. And that was helpful. And I thought our running backs were much more decisive, and we broke a lot more tackles than we did in Austin.
They had a lot of success on chunk pass plays over the middle. Just what did you see on some of those breakdowns, and would you like to see your guys be more aggressive on those routes?
Yeah, we would rather not give up. I don't think this is earth-shattering. We'd rather not give up deep pass plays, regardless down the middle or on the sidelines at all. All right, so what they were doing is they did a pretty good – they did a really good job. They were clearing and bringing a dig under, and that was affecting us in the first half. And then, we lost to Rashad Ajayi at some point during the second quarter. We lost McCormick in the first quarter, I believe, and then we lost Wilson Lamp in the third quarter. And so, we were down to, we moved Ruffin back. He was playing safety all week. He didn't practice at corner, so he came in and gave us some snaps there. But some of it was scheme, and some of us we got to drive on the ball. And a couple of those weren't on the secondary. The linebackers weren't underneath the dig like they should have been.
In addition to just numbers that you're limited on, does that also limit what you can call, what you can do? Do you have to play a little bit more base when you're down?
Yeah, you can't be as aggressive, Kevin. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, we a couple third downs, we came after him. But you can't be as aggressive. You got to stay in your two safeties. And what you want to do is you want to bend but not necessarily break. And they're talented on offense too. Blake Shapen's a good player. I hope he's fine. I didn't see him go down. I hope he's okay. You hate to see those type of plays. He's a really good player. They got good skill. Their O-line's a veteran group. I thought we played the run reasonably well against those guys. Coming into the game, we knew they were going to hit some passes. We hoped we were going to tackle a little better, and they wouldn't be catching runs. That's what we've got to really clean up.
Elaborate a little more on the breakthrough in terms of
Yeah,
ceiling for him.
well, he's got a really good skill set. First of all, he's got size. He's almost 6'3". He's 210ish. He runs really well. He's got good ball skills. And for him, it's really about just kind of maturing as a person and as a player. He's starting to put it together. The first game didn't go the way he wanted to. And I think that was kind of a wake-up call for him that, hey, I've got to practice better. I've got to prepare body and mind better, and I got to be emotionally ready for the games. And since then, he's played at a high level. You go back, and he made a bunch of big plays versus Kansas, repeated that against Virginia Tech. He probably played the best of the group at Texas. And tonight he was big, man. He made some catches with some balls behind him. He made some really good run after catches. He's strong. And so I just think he's a guy that can be a high-level player for us here.
Justin Johnson made a couple big plays tonight, ran well, and broke a couple tackles there in that one touchdown. What did you see from him, and how did his role play in this game?
Yeah, I really think I'll go back. Game 1 didn't go the way he wanted to, but I think he's done a nice job for us all year. I thought he and Tony both kind of they probably had both of those guys probably had their best week of practices over the bye week and into Baylor prep, and it showed today. He's really good at setting up runs. He's probably our most patient guy, and he does a really good job of playing off the linebackers, what Chad coaches him to do. And I thought he had one where he fell down, but the rest of the time, man, I thought he was really good.
Hey, Neal, the bounces, it seems silly, but there are indicators that sooner or later things are going to go your way, and the punt right away ends up in your hands. Some of the fumbles end up in your hands too. I mean, you're right, it's a law of averages maybe, but do you think people buy into that until they see it?
Yeah, so I think that that's the only way you can deal about it, and I just believe that, Mike, and we can say, hey, maybe it's cheesy or whatever. I just can't help but believe that if you continue to do the right thing, you treat people the right way, you work as hard as you possibly can, I'm talking about staff and players, then eventually good things are going to happen. And so, hey, I've believed all year I think we have a good football team. And we really played a bad half as a football team against Texas the first half. That was a bad half. But the rest of the time, we haven't been great on defense. But we've been opportunistic at times. We've played offense at a high level, all but the first half versus Texas. And we've had chances in the other two games we lost. And there was some really weird things that happened in both those losses. All right. Now, we lost the game, and Pitt and Kansas won those games, okay? But there were some things that I've been doing this for 20-plus years, and there's some things that happened in those two games that I've never experienced before. And so did we get a couple bounces tonight? Yeah, we did. The ball that Preston should have on the punt, it bounced right back up to him. But you know what? The kid's busted his ass here for a long time, and he's made a bunch of plays in practice, and he's kind of paid the price. The fumble, I think fumbles happen for a couple reasons. You really work it, and we work takeaways every single day wearing pads. We worked the heck out of pursuit because that's the thing that I was really disappointed in versus Texas more than anything. I can get over the big plays. I can get over that stuff, but we got to run to the football. And when you run to the football, all right, and the ball's on the ground, you get it. And we did that, And so, I just think that's – and I've been selling that to the kids. And I've been selling it to the kids, and it's something that I believe with every ounce of my being.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you all. Appreciate it.